Hello everyone, I'm Lilette Khalija from All That Counts and I'm part of the Intuit QuickBooks Online Trainer Writer Network. We are here with Jason from Spotlight Reporting to talk about how using their app with QuickBooks Online can put the power of business intelligence reporting directly at one's fingertips. So to get things started, I'm going to hand things over to you, Jason, so you can talk us through all the fun stuff on Spotlight Reporting that we should all know about. Thanks, Jason. Over to you.
Thank you, Lilette. Great to be here. We are excited about being part of this presentation with Intuit, and in particular with integration with QuickBooks Online. A little bit about Spotlight Reporting. We founded around 4 years ago by a chartered accountant by the name of Richard Francis. Richard had his own accounting practice and was looking to increase his advisory work, the advice that he was giving his clients, and obviously the advisory revenue that went with that, whilst trying to minimize the compliance burden that him and his staff were having to do. By compliance, I mean data entry, producing the end-of-year financials on behalf of the clients, and which aren't always valued. Quick to see the benefits of cloud accounting software such as QuickBooks Online, which of course gave him and his team instant access to his clients' financials. However, he was still producing his analytical or management reports within Excel. I think part of the challenges that small business owners face is being able to get a glimpse at how the business is doing and being able to extract themselves from the business and focus on the long-term strategy. Often it's left up to the accountant or the advisor to try and do that, yet the accountant or advisor is often challenged by the fact that sometimes the client's sitting on the data that doesn't exist with cloud software, with QuickBooks Online, of course. Yet, traditionally, the challenge has also been putting this information together in a spreadsheet. What we do here at Spotlight Reporting is we automate the production of analytical reporting, leveraging live client financial data through QuickBooks Online, as well as other outlying data sources. So within that time, we've grown considerably. We had a Series A capital raise a couple of years ago, which saw us grow the team to 22 offices in, of course, Australia, the UK, the US, and our head office is in Wellington, New Zealand. In fact, we expect those staff numbers to double in the next 12 months. We're going through Series B capital raise as we speak. The growth is certainly up there. We're used by over 500 accounting firms throughout the world. 120,000 reports were run out of our applications in the last 12 months. We launched a new version of forecasting just a couple of months ago. In fact, 13,000 reports have been run through forecasting. And of course, we have the prestigious Intuit status of being Pro Advisor recommended.
Great.
So what we're seeing, Lilette, is quite a change in the industry. As you've seen, I think, as most accountants are seeing, as a lot of business owners are seeing, there's a big shift from desktop software to online, and accounting software seems to be leading the way. It can be disruptive, but it also comes with a lot of benefits. One of those benefits being the automation of work. Now, that automation can be a challenge for the likes of accountants, bookkeepers, who have traditionally done a lot of the data entry. But the data entry is being automated to a certain extent, where the end-of-year financials are able to be produced a lot quicker. It can change the revenue streams for an accounting practice or even a bookkeeping practice. So we exist primarily to help accountants and bookkeepers within the industry transform from the traditional compliance-based revenue models to more advisory-based revenue streams. We truly believe that it's insight and advisory and analytical reports and services that change the lives of business owners and produce better outcomes for all small to medium-sized business owners everywhere, and ultimately having a positive impact on the economy. So we build software that obviously is going to partner with accountants primarily, Yet at the same time, we do have direct businesses that subscribe to our software as well, where the business owner is financially literate or may even have their own internal accountant. They leverage our software to gain insight into their business, but primarily we're all about helping accountants, bookkeepers, advisors automate the advisory services that they offer. So in partnering with accountants, we've built a 4-product advisory toolset for all advisors who are serious about delivering true value to their clients, whether that be the accountant, bookkeeper, advisor, could be the business owner themselves, often a franchise owner or the franchisor accountant, and we also have quite a few not-for-profits using Spotlight reporting. This toolset includes 4 of our flagship products. The first is Spotlight Reporting. So Spotlight Reporting produces quite advanced, in-depth financial analysis. Worth mentioning, Spotlight Reporting also does consolidations. We'll consolidate up to 50 entities. So if you're an accountant, you have multi-entity structure set up for a particular client, you can now consolidate all those entities into one parent company easily, multi-currency, very fast. We have Spotlight Dashboard, simple, automated, one-page insight into the business, ideal for non-advisory clients, ideal to get your clients thinking about how they're tracking, get them in that advisory mindset and give them a taste for what you can offer as advisory accountant, and create that upsell opportunity. At minimum, you're providing a bit of value add. Chances are it's more than what the guy down the road is doing. The third product is Spotlight Forecasting, a 3-way forecasting tool, scenario tester, a budget planner, and the fourth product is Spotlight Multi. Multi is primarily used by franchisors who are looking to rank and benchmark each of the franchisees against each other and provide insight to each of their franchisees. Spotlight Multi allows for up to 500 entities. So it's very specific. If you've got any franchise clients out there, Multi is the product for them. But usually most clients fit under reporting or dashboard or forecasting.
So Jason, would you suggest then for if I was to introduce or any other pro advisor out there trying to have a business owner who's not financially literate, that the dashboard is a great entry level into what's called, I guess, a high-level dashboard of their business insights, and just let them have a taste of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I mean, the interesting thing is we actually do a free 28-day trial of each of these products. It's the full version of the product for 28 days. So often what we say is if you are looking at trying to upsell your advisory services to some of your clients, perhaps select a handful of clients and run just a simple one-page dashboard for those clients. It takes literally 5 minutes. Link it to your QuickBooks Online data and the dashboard's automatically produced. Fire that out in an email. Let them know this is a service we're thinking about offering. Is this something you would find useful? So it will help, I guess, sift those clients into who is after these kinds of services and who isn't. Some clients may just want the dashboard. Other clients may come back and say, well, actually, this is great, but what we really want is a lot more in-depth reporting functionality, in which case Spotlight Reporting and full-blown advisory services become the option.
Okay. And if someone then wants cash flow forecasting, do they just bundle the products together?
Yes, yeah, we'll talk about the pricing and the bundled options at the end perhaps, but absolutely, you can get all 3 reporting, dashboard and forecasting products bundled into one product that we call Super VCFO for one flat monthly fee, unlimited use.
Wonderful. I'll let you talk about that towards the end then.
Sure. It's interesting. Forecasting, though, presents a whole pile of revenue opportunities. I mean, obviously, forecasting can simply be used to set budgets. As we head into the new financial year, budget planning is a big service that we could offer as accountants, as bookkeepers. And then that budget planning obviously can then flow into forecasting opportunities and then monitoring that rolling forecast. So forecasting in itself presents some good new revenue opportunities that we're not doing already. So obviously we link to QuickBooks Online data, but we also link to some of these outlying databases such as Google Analytics. Google Analytics will monitor a business's website statistics, so returning visitors versus new visitors, time spent on each page, that kind of information. And also great about that, the interesting thing is if you can begin to compare these outlying influences of our financials with our financials, it gives us some quite great insight. So for example, we can see the impact that the website is having on revenue. We can perhaps run a social media campaign, try and drive traffic through the website, start monitoring new users hitting the website, but then compare that to revenue in the form of a graph. We integrate with Excel. Excel enables us to begin to import non-financial data. It might be customer satisfaction survey that we're running. It could be the number of employees. We might want to create our own formula, revenue divided by the number of employees, to create a stat of average revenue per employee for each month and monitor to see when we might want to hire or peel back on our part-timers depending on the season. So that's kind of an overview of what we do. I was just going to jump in and show you the software itself at a very surface level. So if I jump into my browser, I'm simply sitting at spotlightreporting.com.
Okay.
Sign in to access the product, and like with all cloud products, it's our username, which is often our email address and password. And normally I go straight through to our partner dashboard, but in this case, we just had a new update just a couple of days ago. So the great thing with cloud software is the updates happen automatically in the background. And in our instance, every time we do an update, we obviously have this splash screen coming up showing you what those updates have included and how to use that new functionality. I'll just click on Don't Show That Message again and click on Proceed. So here we can see our 4 main products at the top. Version 1 is being phased out, that will disappear. We now have version 2, which is forecasts. But I'm sitting in Spotlight Reporting here. We can see all those clients that we've set up to run a report using Spotlight Reporting. They're all integrated with QuickBooks Online except for James Dean Trust. So if I just quickly click on the report, you'll notice it will ask for our data source. We simply click the data source, click on Connect to QuickBooks. I won't go through it. It will ask for your QuickBooks logon and password, and we can link the Spotlight report directly to that QuickBooks Online data. So for example, QBO World down here, if I click on this report, click on import, we can see that we're sourcing data from QuickBooks Online, from Excel, from Google Analytics. If we've got our data set up correctly in QuickBooks Online, there is no mapping. We know what the general ledger code types are. So we'll automatically bring through your revenue accounts, your cost of sales, your expenses. In fact, you probably recognize that as being the default QBO chart of accounts. We can have a look at what non-financial data we've imported from Excel. We can look at our Google Analytics. So that all happens. Once you've set up that connection, that happens automatically. Really, all that's left to do is jump into Layout and select one of our default templates. So we have a basic 2-page layout, standard or even advanced layout, and we also have all these industry-specific layouts based on what industry your client is in. Now it's probably worth mentioning here, these layouts are totally customizable. This is a great starting point, but you might want to jump in and pick a new chart from our chart library of over 80 different charts in there. Or you can create your own chart, you can create your own formulas. The point being, this is totally customizable. I'll just quickly jump into a PDF just to show you what a completed Spotlight report looks like. Title page, highlights and observations, a lot of that is automated. Recommendations, we look at our P&L information. What's our revenue been like for this year compared to last year? We start to look at the breakdown by region. We've got our balance sheet information in there with some CapEx monitor, debt monitor, a bit of a focus on cash. So you get the idea of the kind of things we can report on. That Spotlight reporting, once again, designed for your top 20% of clients, those that need a deep dive to their results to be able to strategize moving forward. Forecasting, like I said before, has a budget manager, has a three-way forecast included. By three-way, I mean not only the cash flow and the P&L forecast, but also the balance sheet. If you've got clients, if you're an accountant, you've got clients going for loans at the bank, most banks these days require a three-way forecast. And also you've got the ability to create different scenarios. So you might want to do a forecast, create a best case scenario, all things going to plan scenario, and what happens if things go wrong scenario. Prepare. I won't take you into too much detail within forecasting other than to say you set up the rules that you want to project that data out. Those rules can be applied to individual general ledger codes or groups of general ledger codes. It's quite a powerful tool and saves a heap of time if you've ever tried doing a forecast with an Excel. And of course, dashboard. Once again, if I just quickly jump into dashboard, while it's building that dashboard, I will, once again, you've got the import, you get to your QuickBooks Online data. You can change the way that data is mapped if you want to through the Customize Data tab, and then you can customize the layout. So we have three different layouts. The layout we're looking at in this instance is the resilience layout. Let me quickly show you. What that layout looks like. So again, this is totally automated. Three key areas: revenue, profit, cash. All business owners are focused on these three key areas. The text is automated. You can change what the text says by changing what you're reporting on. So revenue, for example, let's say we wanted to report on year-to-date versus budget. That is going to automatically update that text. And this kind of wheel chart over here is showing us how on track we are. So cash, we're on track. Revenue, we're slightly down, and profit is really down. So again, these dashboards can be used as an upsell tool, either a value add tool or to upsell our clients through to advisory reports.
So is this the only page, Jason, on the...
Yeah, that's right. The dashboards are designed to simply be one-page reports. I can show you a couple of other examples of what the dashboards can look like. There's this particular layout that has 6 different windows. You simply drag and drop the KPI or the chart that you want appearing in there. Mm-hmm. Or there's the performance report, which is a lot more simplistic, just a simple bar chart, perhaps more suited to the less financially literate client to point out how they're going. The main point, though, is these dashboards are automated. You can produce them really quickly.
Yeah. It would take hours to do that in Excel, no doubt.
Absolutely, absolutely. If you do have any franchise clients, I'll quickly show you Spotlight Multi. Very similar to Spotlight Reporting, except we begin to see these rankings. So down the side here, these are our franchisees, and they're ranked in order. We can set the KPI that we want to measure. So from a franchisor's perspective, they can immediately see who's doing well, who's doing not so well. Some averages down the bottom here. The exception report, we set, once again, the KPIs across the top. These are our franchisees down the side. And we set what the targets are. Anyone that's falling below their target will appear in red. And other than that, very similar to a Spotlight report. Spotlight reporting report.
Can you set up, I mean, this is both in multi and reporting, can you set up your own KPIs, your own...
Yes, absolutely, great question.
Formulas?
Yeah, absolutely. You sure can. You sure can. You can go in and we have a formula built in there. You can combine your non-financial data with the financial data in building a formula. Okay. If you want to. You might, I don't know, you might be retail. You might have a retail client and you are monitoring, you want to monitor profitability per square meterage. So you could put in the size of each of your stores within a spreadsheet, import that spreadsheet, that would create the square meterage per store, and then go in and create a formula of revenue divided by square meters to give you average revenue per square meter, perhaps, if that was something you were going to track. So I think that's one of the strengths of Spotlight reporting, is the ability to customize those layouts, those formats. Okay, just finally, where to from here? So, like I mentioned before, we have a free, no obligation 28-day trial available of each of our products. At the end of that 28 days, if you wish to subscribe, payment and pricing is either based on the product itself, and it will depend on how many clients you want to use it on, use it for, or you can go with our Super VCFO package, which is Spotlight Reporting, Spotlight Dashboard, and Spotlight Forecasting bundled, unlimited use for one set monthly fee. We find a lot of practices out there in particular looking to try and ramp up their advisory services quite quickly. They're looking to scale quickly, so often Super VCFO is a good solution for them and enables them to scale without incurring those extra costs. For our Super VCFO partners, we also include masterclass training. That training isn't only on how to use the software, it's also ideas on how to create new revenue streams through advisory, how to train staff up to begin to have these advisory sessions themselves. I think it might, it can scare someone who's been doing compliance work, who's been doing tax returns for the last 20 years, to all of a sudden start offering advice through even using a Spotlight report. So, we're seeing a shift in skill set within the industry, which is exciting. And I think the reality is accountants became accountants. Bookkeepers became bookkeepers to help businesses, not to do the tedious, monotonous compliance work. So the next phase of accounting is here. I think we have the opportunity to become true advisors to our clients. Of course, we can be found on the Intuit App Center website. If I just click on that link, take us through the App Center, and you can see we're actually trending #1. I believe that's globally. I changed the whether you're logged in through the US or Australia. We're trending #1, which is fantastic, which is great to see. So if you did need to find us on here, simply type in Spotlight Reporting. There we are there. From the App Center, you can see a quick demo, can see examples of our reports, and it has a link through to our website as well, which is where you can go to sign up to that trial. But we certainly think this is an exciting time to be within the accounting industry. I've been in the industry for 20 plus years now. I've worked for a lot of the main software providers in that time, and I've never seen anything.
Couldn't agree more, Jason. I've actually even seen business coaches use Spotlight reporting as part of their service offering as well. Yeah, I've seen of them. So I think everyone's jumping on the bandwagon of being that trusted advisor. It seems to be the flavour of the year, but not everyone does it. Not everyone does it well, and I think it comes down to having the skill set to, I think part of our job as advisors is to be able to interpret those numbers with the business owner so that we can empower them to decipher what the numbers mean so their businesses can thrive and move forward. And I think that's where Spotlight, I think that's been the missing gap between, say, an accountant and a standard bookkeeper. Something like Spotlight fills in that gap.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely, Lilette. In fact, what we're starting to see is bookkeepers are starting to lay the groundwork for the accountants. It's the bookkeepers that are in the dashboards, getting the clients thinking about, getting the business owners thinking about how they're performing, and then passing that lead on to a practice to do the deep dive using Spotlight reporting. And obviously that's such a great relationship to have between a bookkeeper and an accountant. I think bookkeepers and accountants have the opportunity to work a lot closer together.
Yeah, the shift has changed where bookkeepers used to look at accountants to be guided, I'm finding that the bookkeepers are guiding the accountants as to what they should be looking at and what are some of the red flags in a business.
Yes. Well, the bookkeeper has a relationship, don't they? They're the ones that have the, the regular contact with the client. So
They do. I talk often to a lot of bookkeepers and they say, look, I've done my Cert 4, I'm moving into bookkeeping. I'm like, great. So what systems are you now using to complement what you know? Because bookkeeping itself is great, but this is what business owners want. They want.
Yes.
So I definitely see Spotlight reporting as having a space with QuickBooks Online and how it works and integrates. But I don't think you can have one without the other to be a true trusted advisor.
100%. Couldn't agree more.
So I think we might wrap up, Jason. I don't think, is there anything else you wanted to share? Otherwise we will just...
No, that was it. Just wanted to say thank you for having us. Great to be able to present.
Thank you.
And, we look forward to working with Intuit around the world.
Yep, likewise. Thanks, Jason.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Bye.